Alright, welcome back to another video. My name's Eamon, if you're new here. And in this video, I want to do something a bit different. I want to talk about if running Google Ads is even the right choice for your painting company. I've got some reasons here, 5 reasons why and 5 reasons why not. I'm going to talk about them quickly. Number one reason why it would be a good choice for you to run Google Ads is if you want leads quickly. Now, with Google, it's probably the fastest way of getting leads online. It takes a lot less time to start kicking in than Facebook, for example, and definitely SEO, which is usually about like a 6-month investment minimum before you start seeing results. That's more of a long-term thing. But with Google, you can literally just have an ad up and start getting leads within a few days. So if you want to keep your crews busy and there's a need for getting the phone ringing right away, then Google is the way to go. A second reason why you would want to run Google Ads, why you would consider it, is if you have a bigger business with good margins. Now, the reason that you need good margins for this is because with Google, it's going to be the most expensive type of online leads that you can buy. Okay, more expensive than Facebook or anything that you might get from your Google business profile. The reason for that is because there's so many people that are inside the auction, inside your area. Okay, obviously it depends on the area. Competition differs from area to area, but generally Google is going to be the most expensive type of online marketing you'll be doing. So you're not going to be as profitable on those jobs than you would be on jobs that you get from other marketing sources. So obviously you have to make sure that the math checks out, but the better your margins, the more this will be sustainable for you. The third thing, which is really important, and you can see I put the complete reverse here, is if you know what you're doing. With Google, it's very, very easy to waste your money if you don't know where all the settings are and how you should do them and all the best practices that I talk about on this channel. Just a couple of days ago, I was speaking to a contractor and he said that within the last 2 weeks, he'd wasted $2,000 and got absolutely nothing from it. Not a single lead. Yeah, that's the way Google works. They'll take your money without you getting any leads to show for it unless you know what you're doing. So it's really important to make sure that you actually have a plan before you start doing this. The fourth thing that I kind of touched on is if you can afford the higher cost. Like I said, generally it's going to be the most expensive type of online marketing you can do, and for good reason. Obviously, it's obviously the best type of leads that you can get because of the high intent. If you've got a solid sales process, then you should find that your close rate on Google Leads is second only to word of mouth and referrals. The last reason is it goes back to what I was just saying about how high intent it is. If you don't want to chase down leads and you don't want to have like a protracted sales process, obviously that's going to happen to some extent in every sales process with every marketing source, but generally it's going to be a lot less with Google. Again, just because of that high intent. So if you don't want to, or you don't have the time, maybe you don't have sales reps just yet, and you don't want to be chasing down leads, then Google is definitely a good option to consider. All right, now to get into the reasons why you wouldn't want to run Google Ads, why you're better off taking your marketing budget and putting it into a different source, like Facebook, for example. The number one reason would be is if your budget is too low to compete in auctions. I spoke about this more in my budget video, but basically you want a minimum budget to start seeing results because Google Ads is an auction process. So right when somebody searches, an auction takes place right away between you and all the other competitors in your area who are competing for that person's click. And obviously it doesn't just come down to budget. Otherwise the company with the biggest budget would just be, eating up the entire market, and that's not how it works. So there's other things that go into it, how good the ad is and things like that. But budget is obviously a huge part of it. And if you don't have enough to be able to compete minimally and, at least for, budget for like 3 months, then you're not going to be able to see good results from Google Ads. It's going to be very slow when the results do come, and you're going to be paying a lot more than you otherwise would because you need the Google Ads to exit the learning phase. So that's about a 60 to 90-day process. And the bigger your budget, the faster that goes. And basically then you start seeing the metrics that you want. You're getting the cost per lead that you want. You're getting the conversion rates that you want and the number of leads that you want. But all that depends on having a big enough budget to be competitive. And the second reason, it's the opposite of the reason why you would run it, is if right now your margins aren't where you want them and you're not charging as much as you'd like, then you should probably consider not running Google Ads. Like I said, because these leads are going to be more expensive than other sources, your margins on them are going to be a bit lower. So you need to make sure that it makes sense for you. And again, like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, it's very easy to, blow your budget and not have anything to show for it. The next thing is if you can't always answer the phone. Now, people are going to be calling you, right? If you have things set up correctly, you've got your phone number in a very clear place where people can see, people are going to be calling you. And if you can't always answer the phone, then they're just going to move on to the next person on the page. You know, that's just the way it is nowadays. Consumers have a lot of choices. So this ties into the last point, which is your sales process, which obviously starts from that initial phone call. So if you can't guarantee that you'll be able to answer the phone most of the time and follow up with leads, at least, like I said, most of the time, right? Nobody's perfect. Yeah, if you can't do that, then you should probably consider Facebook, for example, because there you can just have everything automated. Again, calling would benefit you a lot, okay? Like adding that human touch to it, that can only benefit you. But generally with Google, people are going to be calling, and you want somebody on the other end to pick up, and that's actually trained. That's why I said a proven sales process that actually knows how to get people on the calendar and get all the, required information about them, and maybe even like build some rapport with them. So, it just makes the sales process that much easier. All right, that's pretty much everything I've got for this video. Try to keep all these things in mind when you're deciding where to spend your marketing investment. Like I said, Google can be a really powerful source of leads if you know what you're doing and you've got all these things in place. But otherwise, you're better off looking at other sources. And if you are interested in running Google Ads for your company, then you can scroll down to the linked comment and go to my website and just have a read through. If that sounds like you, or the descriptions that I've got written there, then find a time on my calendar and we can talk. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.